Yo, 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 what's up? It's your boy Ricochet, aka it's pronounced O'Shea. And you in the boombox room for another tutorial. So today we're going to go over drum programming here in our Reason version 8. Now what I'm going to show you today, you can do in Reason or Pro Tools or Logic if you like. I find it easier doing it in Reason or Pro Tools. Alright. So this is something that I teach my students who are just learning how to make their first drum beats and maybe sometimes struggle with staying on beat on the keyboard, or maybe just don't have any ideas to begin with. So I'm going to show you basically how you can trace a drum beat. That's right. Finding a drum beat that you like as a foundation and tracing that just like you would in art class. So the first thing we want to do is import an audio file. In Reason, on a Mac, the keyboard shortcut is Option Command I. All right, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import an instrumental, just something where you can see the transients and the waveforms specifically of the drum loop. All right, so I was actually just checking out some instrumentals earlier, and I came across one, the old joint by Lil Jon, Eastside Boys, featuring Ludacris and I think China White back in the day, Bia Bia. So that was actually my joint back in the day. That got me real hype. All right, so I'm gonna bring that in. All right, so there we go, got that in. All right, cool. All right, now the reason why I brought this one in, as you'll hear, is that the beginning just has a drum solo, so it'll be easy to find. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's to be just the drums. Now, what we want to do, we actually want to trim this to make sure we get a nice, even loop. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in. Alright. Make sure I start my beat right at the beginning of that first kick. I'm going to take my snap off, and I'm going to drag this over to about right there. Then I move that back to the beginning, so it should start right on that beat. Alright, cool. So we got that. Next thing I do, I'm going to find where the beat ends right before that sub 808 comes in. So, alright, so right about here, right before that 808 comes in, we're going to get that. Our keyboard shortcut in Reason to get your razor tool is the letter R. So I'm going to get my razor tool. I'm going to zoom in as close as I can. Make sure I get a nice clean cut right here. Alright. Oops. Alright, let's zoom back in on that. Here we go. I want to make a nice clean cut. Alright, that looks good right about there. Boom, we're going to cut that. Boom. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to zoom back out. All the way back. There we go. Let's see. Alright, so now what I'm doing, I'm going to highlight all of this. To loop this section, keyboard shortcut the letter P. So let's see if it's a proper loop. Alright, so the loop sounds good. Now we need to figure out how many bars is that. And then we're going to time stretch it to the correct amount of bars. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that's 4 bars. Or we can time stretch it to 8. So either way, so I'm gonna time stretch this. So kind of like that, it would be 4 bars. Or we could have did it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and stretch it back to 4 bars. So in Reason, I'm holding the Option button, and you see right where the mouse is, it turns into a little clock, and I'm gonna, undo, Command Z, turn the snap back on, so that way it connects right to 4 bars. Alright, so when the time stretches it, it automatically puts it at the tempo, whatever the tempo is already set at, which is 120. Alright, so we can go ahead and change that. Let's do 85. Alright, and we're going to turn the click on to see if it's on beat with the metronome. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, cool. So now that we know we have it on beat, now we can begin to trace it and make our own drum beat. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Alright. Let's see. Let's zoom in. Alright, we're going to do 1 bar at a time. So I'm going to bring this over to, alright, so I'm only focused on 1 bar. Now, next thing I do, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to turn my grid to 16th notes. So you see all the white lines right here. And if you look closely, you can actually tell that each sound is lined up to the grid, or each sound is lined up to one of these white lines. Now all I'm going to do is bring in some drum samples. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to go to Reason, and I'm going to go to Kong Patches, Kong Sounds and Samples. I'm going to get a bass drum. Oh, that's nice. And I'm going to drag that under here. Alright, got that. I'm going to get one more. And I'm going to drag that under here. Alright, and let's see, let's get a snare drum. Alright, that sounds decent enough. We're going to drag that under here. Put that right there. Then let's get some hi-hats. And we're just going to drag that under here somewhere. Hi-hats, we're going to drag it down. There we go. So we got my hi-hats. Alright, so now all we got to do is match everything up. Alright, so we're going to focus on the kick at first. Alright, and I don't want this to be that long. I'm going to just bring it right there. I'm going to fade it out just a little bit. Then I'm going to bring this right here, match it up, fade it out just a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to mute these for now. Click on it, letter M. So now let's just match up the kicks. Alright, so everywhere so this both look like kick patterns. So I'm going to just highlight this, hold the Option button, and drag it over here. So you see, I got the kick right on beat. So if I wanted to right now, I could go through and mute their kicks, because now we have mine playing. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna come through all these. Mute, mute, mute. Now let's hear the beat. And so now we're going to go ahead and get the snare in there. Alright, and so we're going to drag our snare on over. And hold the option button and drag this to match it up with that snare. So now we can get rid of their snare. Alright, so we're gonna get rid of that. And once again, I'm not trying to make my drum beat sound like their drum beat. I'm just showing you how to get the same pattern. Alright. You could also download MIDI drum loops and stuff just to get your ideas going. But sometimes I find if I'm working in Reason or Pro Tools and I'm mixing and I just need to add replace a drum sound real quick or throw together a real quick drum beat. If I don't have my keyboard with me because I'm in the mix room, then sometimes I find it easier just to do it like this. Alright, so here we go. Alright, and then all we would do is go through and add our hi-hat sound or shaker. They have a few different sounds going on in here, but I'm just showing you the basic pattern. Alright, so add that there, add that there, add that there. So now I can mute this whole drum track, and mine should be playing a very, very similar pattern to what they did. So there you have it. Thank you for tuning in with your boy Ricochet to the Boombox Room, and I'll catch you next week for the next tutorial.